House Judiciary Committee Chairman Bob Goodlatte and Oversight Chairman Trey Gowdy reaching some sort of agreement today with the Justice Department. We'd like to tell you what it was or what it is, but they say in a very brief statement that it allows for their review of documents concerning Clinton corruption and FISA court abuses. They gave absolutely no specifics, not anything about when there will be a delivery of documents, how many they're going to see, but we do know that for more than a half year, lawmakers have been trying to get 1.2 million documents from the recalcitrant stonewalling Justice Department. House Intel Chairman Devin Nunes revealed there was no official intelligence used at all to start the FBI investigation into the Trump campaign.
This is really important to us because a counterintelligence investigation uses the tools of our intelligence services that are not supposed to be used on American citizens. So we've long wanted to know, well, what intelligence did you have that actually led to this investigation? So what we found now, after the investigators have reviewed it, is that, in fact, there was no intelligence.
No intelligence, none whatsoever. Chris Farrell, Director of Investigations and Research for Judicial Watch, joins us tonight. Chris, on one level, to me, there's no surprise in what Nunes said. On the other, it's a different articulation of the same thing. The GOP memorandum said the same thing. As a matter of fact, Senate Intel said the same thing. There's nothing. So why in the world do these folks in the Senate leadership, and the House leadership persist?
There's no good explanation, Lou. I mean, what I think Nunes did today was just make a simple declarative sentence out of his report. That's what really counted. So even if it was sort of a restatement of what we already knew, it was clear and direct, and it brings up probably the most important fact of all this nonsense, which is that there was no real intelligence. There was cooperation between Hillary Clinton and the DNC via a couple of cutouts with the Russian intelligence service. You want to find collusion, look right there.
There's collusion. There is also fakery, fraud, and two political operatives that are quite well known to the country, those being Cody Shearer and Sidney Blumenthal, the Clintonistas.
Yep.
Their role in this looks profound, important, and yet we hardly hear their names.
Yeah, and they're sort of long-term, they view themselves as sort of, they'd like to think that they're James Bond or something, but they're intelligence peddlers. They use sort of warmed-over, half-baked press reports and try to pass it off as some sort of insightful commentary. And you can see that, thankfully, through some of our work concerning Benghazi, where Sidney Blumenthal was really fanning the flames with Hillary Clinton on Libya.
The idea that this deep state, of which they would be a part, perhaps an ancillary chapter, but nonetheless a part, we actually have James Comey telling folks in his book tour, I believe last Wednesday, that yes, there is a deep state, but the deep state, don't worry, just be very, very calm and relaxed, because they wouldn't do anything, well, untoward, our representative constitutional republic. Here's what he said. There is a deep state in this sense. There is a collection of people, CIA, NSA, FBI, in the United States military services, who are passionately about getting it right, who care passionately about the values that we try to talk about. No matter how they vote or how they talk at home, try desperately to do the right thing. That is deep. That is unchangeable, actually. My Lord. I mean, this is a man, I don't know how much more harm he can do himself, but he is unfettered and whittling away at his own, at his self, to which there's going to be nothing recognizable by the time apparently he's done.
Yeah, more virtue posturing by Mr. Comey. Not that he's talking about himself, of course.
Of course
not. But, there are American heroes who know better. So keep your heads down and obey, because we have all the right answers.
The elitism of it is gag-worthy. It is just...
It's insulting. It really is insulting. And it's so self-referential in the way that he says it. I don't know how the poor reporter who was doing, a pad and pen on that one, yeah. I don't know how they sat upright in the room while he's saying these sorts of things.
Well, I suspect with long practice, because it seems to be the tone set by so many of our even our elected officials in this country. Yep. The time for elitism, globalism is nigh an end, because this country really desperately needs to get back to its fundamental founding values. Things like a constitutional republic, elected leaders, not deep state vermin who crawl out whenever they feel like it.
How about equal justice under the law?
Yeah,
that would be nice.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Just stick to that, we'll be all right.
The Democratic Party, as they continue to torture themselves, to torch themselves, and to destroy whatever was left of the brand, after 8 years of the Obama administration and the misadventures that Messrs. Comey and Clapper and Brennan took them on, where are we headed here? They file a lawsuit against Russians and the Trump campaign, seeking what?
Tom Perez wants his money back. He paid for a dossier that was supposed to tank Trump in connection with the Russian government, and it didn't work. So I guess they want their money back. But the real story is that I believe Democratic operatives in the Mueller operation have told them, look, we've got a big zero. We're in a slow motion meltdown over here. So go out and file a civil suit to continue the publicity stunt and allow them to talk endlessly about it, because the civil litigation will drag on, into the next century.
Do you think there was a coordination?
Oh, I mean, can I prove it? No. But what do my gut instincts tell me? They tell me that, whether it was at a cocktail hour or the kids' soccer game, somebody said, hey, look, here's a smart idea. We're not going anywhere, but you can do something civilly, and you can use the discovery process to churn up maximum confusion. What they're forgetting, though, is that discovery goes both ways, right? So there will be there'll be defendants in this litigation who can turn around and ask very awkward questions of Mr. Perez and company.
It took President Trump about 3 nanoseconds to figure out the reciprocity of that advantage and to tweet about it. Chris Farrell, always good to see you. Thank you.